Purpose, protection, provision. You stand at a fork in the road of life, feeling uncertain and perhaps a bit adrift. Life is a way of pulling us in different directions. You might feel like you've been caught in cycles of hesitation, doubting whether you are on the right path. Before you, two paths emerge. Path A. This path looks incredibly promising. Doors seem to be swinging open easily, opportunities abound, and it aligns perfectly with what seems like the right decision based on your own understanding. It appears to offer success and fulfillment. Path B. This path is quieter, less clear, and requires you to let go of your own understanding. It feels less like a clear opportunity and more like a gentle pull, perhaps even a redirection away from what you thought you wanted. Following it feels like stepping into the unknown, requiring trust and patience. Which path do you choose? Choose Path A. Choose Path B. If you choose Path A, you step onto the promising path, relying on what looks good in your own understanding. Initially, it seems exciting, but soon you notice you are being pulled in different directions. Distractions try to lead you away. The path feels increasingly aimless, like a river that wanders when it loses its banks. Despite appearances, this path, because it wasn't God-ordained, cannot offer true protection from straying or genuine provision. You realize that chasing what looks good but isn't from God can lead you away from the center of His will, which is the safest place to be. Your story feels disconnected from its true purpose. If you choose Path B, you choose the quieter path, trusting that God's ways are high and His plans far greater than anything you could come up with on your own. You ask God to quiet the noise around you and speak clearly into your spirit. You choose to stand firm in faith, even when life gets confusing or the waiting feels too long. As you walk this path, you feel God working behind the scenes. He helps remove anything that is not from Him, closing the wrong doors that look promising, and swinging open the doors that lead to the life He has called you to. You begin to understand that what He withheld by closing Path A was never a loss, but a divine redirection to something better. You find yourself planted firmly in the place where God wants you to be, walking in the peace that only comes from knowing you are exactly where you should be. On this path, you discover your true purpose unfolding, experience a protection that comes from staying in God's will, and receive the provision of walking in step with Him, fully surrendered and trusting. Your story is still being written by the divine author, moving towards breakthrough. The power of prayer and trusting God. It frames life as a story, with God as the author, ensuring that even difficult chapters, losses, setbacks, or endings are not the conclusion but groundwork for something greater He is preparing. This speaks to the unfolding of purpose, suggesting that our story is far from over and heading towards a season of breakthrough. The importance of staying in the center of God's will, not just near it or around the edges, but firmly planted. This is highlighted as the safest, most powerful place to be. Staying in God's will offer protection from being pulled in different directions, from drifting, from being caught in cycles of hesitation, and from chasing what looks good but isn't God-ordained. It involves asking God for the wisdom to recognize and the strength to walk away from anything not from Him, trusting Him to close wrong doors and open the right ones. What God withholds is seen as a divine redirection to something better, providing protection from pursuing paths that are not aligned with His plan. Provision is intrinsically linked to trusting God and staying in His will. The source speaks of expecting and trusting God to move, reminding the listener that God's ways are higher and His plans greater than our own. It encourages standing firm in faith when life is confusing or difficult, being anchored in faith against impatience and distractions. The assurance that God never leaves us to figure things out alone, that He goes before, walks beside, is within, and holds our future, underpins the concept of His faithful provision. By walking in step with God, fully surrendered and trusting, we remain in the place where His purpose, protection, and provision are fully realized. The prayer concludes with a belief and reception of everything prayed for, giving glory in advance because the prayer is considered answered.